Every month, on roughly the same day, a check arrives in a mailbox in a small Texas town. Nobody clocked in to earn it, no hours were traded, no boss signed off. The man who owns that mailbox didn't do anything last month to make that money come, and he won't do anything next month either. But the check will come again, and the month after that, and likely long after he's gone, to his kids. The old-timers have a name for income like that. They call it mailbox money, and building it is the closest thing there is to the dream you were sold about retirement, except it doesn't wait until you're 65. Last time, we talked about owning assets and never selling them. Today, the assets that pay you while you hold them. Welcome back to The Quiet Rich. There are really only two ways a human being can make money. The first is the one almost everyone uses. You trade time for it. You show up, you do the work, you get paid. Stop showing up, the money stops. Doctor, electrician, lawyer, laborer. Doesn't matter how high the hourly rate climbs, it's the same machine. Your income is chained to your presence. The second way is the one the wealthy quietly build toward their whole lives. You trade money for it, once, by buying something that pays you again and again. The work happens up front. The income keeps coming after the work is done. That's the entire difference between being rich and being wealthy. A high earner with no assets is one bad month away from trouble. A wealthy person could stop working tomorrow, and the checks would still land. Here's the part nobody tells you, though. Most people assume mailbox money is only for people who are already rich. Backwards. For most quiet rich families, the mailbox money came first. Small, unglamorous streams, built one at a time, that eventually grew big enough to replace the paycheck. So let's look at the real ones. Not get-rich-quick fantasies, the durable streams that have paid families for generations. Rental real estate, the classic. You buy a property, a tenant pays you rent, and after the mortgage and expenses, the rest is yours, every month. Done right, the tenant pays down your loan and hands you cash flow while the property appreciates. 3 returns from one asset. It's not effortless. There are tenants and toilets, but with a property manager taking a cut, it gets close. This is how a huge share of quiet American wealth was built, a few doors at a time. Dividend stocks. Own a slice of a profitable company, and many of them mail out a portion of those profits to shareholders every quarter, just for holding the stock. The best of them raise that payment year after year. No tenants, no maintenance, completely hands-off. The trade-off? It takes serious capital to throw off serious income, and the share price bounces around. But for pure do-nothing simplicity, dividends are hard to beat. Royalties. This is the one most people have never thought about, and it's a favorite of the quiet rich, because the income can outlast you by decades. A royalty is a cut of the revenue from something productive that you own a piece of. The textbook example, mineral and oil and gas royalties. You own the rights under a piece of land. An energy company does the expensive, risky work of pulling oil or gas out of the ground, and a percentage of the revenue gets mailed to you for as long as that well produces. You took no operational risk, you just owned the right thing. We'll do a whole series on this one, because it's one of the most misunderstood assets in America, and one of the most overlooked. Lending and notes. When you're the bank, you collect the interest. Owner financing a property you sell, private lending, certain bonds, your money goes to work and pays you to wait. Boring, predictable, and exactly the way wealthy people like it. Royalties on creative and digital work. A book, a song, a piece of software, a course, built once, sold endlessly. Lower barrier to entry than land or stock, which is the appeal. The catch is that most creative work earns little, and the winners are hard to predict. Notice the thread running through all of these. You own something, and the something pays you. Ownership is the engine. Everything else is detail. Here's why mailbox money matters more than the size of any paycheck. It breaks the time for money chain. Every stream you build is a piece of your time bought back. Enough streams, And you reach the point the wealthy quietly aim for their whole lives. Your expenses are covered, whether you work or not. That's not retirement. That's freedom. And it can arrive at 40 just as easily as 80. It compounds when you reinvest it. Don't spend the first checks. Use them to buy the next stream. Rent buys more dividends. Dividends buy more royalties. Each new stream throws off income that buys the next. Slow at first, then startling. This is the snowball almost nobody has the patience to start. It survives you. A paycheck dies with the worker. A rental, a royalty, a dividend portfolio. Those keep paying your spouse, your kids, your grandkids. This is how families build wealth that lasts past one lifetime. The check doesn't know you're gone. It just keeps coming to whoever owns the asset now. That last one is the whole game for the quiet rich. They're not building income for a fancy car. They're building a machine their children inherit already running. So the next generation starts where this one left off, instead of back at zero. Now the guardrails, because passive income is the most oversold phrase on the internet. First, almost nothing is truly passive at the start. Every stream takes real work or real money up front, usually both. The rental has to be found and financed. The dividend portfolio takes years of saving to build. The royalty takes capital and know-how to acquire. Passive describes the back end, after the work is done, not a free lunch on the front end. Anyone selling you effortless, overnight income is selling you something. Second, be ruthless about scams. The hunger for mailbox money is exactly what con artists feed on. If it promises high returns with no risk, it's a lie, every time. Real income streams are slower and more boring than the pitch. Boring is the point. Third, diversify your streams. One rental, one tenant, one bad year. That's fragile. The strength of mailbox money is in having several streams, so no single failure sinks you. The wealthy don't bet the farm on one pipe. They build many small ones. Fourth, match the stream to who you are. Hate dealing with people? Rentals may not be your lane. Try dividends or royalties. Love the hunt for a deal? Real estate or mineral rights might fit perfectly. There's no single right stream. There's the right stream for you. So where does a normal person begin without 50 million in the bank? You start with one stream, small. Pick the one that fits your situation and your temperament, and learn it deeply before you add a second. The first stream is always the hardest and the slowest. You're learning while you build. The second is easier. By the third, you understand the pattern, and it starts to feel less like work and more like collecting. And here's the mindset shift that matters most. Start thinking of every dollar you don't spend as a potential employee. A dollar spent is gone. A dollar put into an income-producing asset shows up for work every month for the rest of your life, and then keeps working for your kids. The quiet rich don't see money as something to spend. They see it as something to deploy. Little workers sent out to bring more workers home. That's the whole secret. Buy things that pay you. Reinvest what they pay. Be patient enough to let it compound. And one day, the check shows up in the mailbox, whether you got out of bed or not. Of all the streams we covered, there's one we keep coming back to. Because it pays for decades, it requires no tenants and no management, and most people who own it don't even realize what they're sitting on. Mineral and royalty rights. We're starting a whole series on it soon. If you own land, if you inherited anything in oil country, or you just want to understand the most overlooked income stream in America, subscribe and stay close.